Hi guys, I'm Forrester here with a guest. You met her in an earlier video. Her name is Laura and she comes from Italy. She's been an exchange student here in the U.S. in South Carolina for the past year. Laura, how did you get in the exchange program?
So I got the idea from my sister because she also did an exchange year in Wales, and the process is not too hard. You can either do that as a private, so you can find a family by yourself in state where you want to go, or you can go with an agency. That's what I did, and they help you. First of all, you can do some online meetings to understand if that agency fits for you because there are a lot of options, a lot of different agencies, and they have different prices and different offers. And after that, you have to do an interview to see if your English level is good enough and also if you have the right um, personality to do an exchange year.
So did you pick South Carolina, or
No,
were you told to go to South Carolina?
I was told to go. So you can either choose a state in the US or, for example, to go to the East Coast or West Coast, or you can say just, I want to go to the US, just find a family. And that's what happened to me. And so when I got my family, I also got my school, and I knew that I was going to go to South Carolina.
So you've been living with our daughter and her family, and we won't say where, but it's in a very rural part of South Carolina. So you went from northeastern Italy,
Yes.
near a major city, to rural South Carolina. So what was that transition like?
It it was definitely different. I wouldn't say it was too hard. I just I would say that I just came here and I just started to do what other people were doing. So I went from my school in Italy has 1,500 students, and my school here in the US has 250 students. So it was definitely different. It was definitely smaller, but I did like that all the students knew each other. So when you walk through the halls, when you go to class, you know everybody, and I feel it's easier to make friends.
So I'm going to brag on you. Laura was the top of her class here in South Carolina, and I've never heard of this before, but her grade point average, normally it tops out at 4, right?
Um, there is a graded one and weighted one and an unweighted one.
But her grade point average was 5 point something. What was it?
27.
5.27, which is, I know, is fantastic. So you opted out of a lot of the final exams and everything.
Yeah, I didn't have to do any final.
But it's very disappointing because she's not going to be able to graduate, which I think is unfair. She was top of her class, but they have a rule that you have to be in the system, what, 2 years?
Yes, you have to be a South Carolina, or at least from my district, you have to be a student in American high school for at least 2 years.
So my solution was maybe she could walk through the line and just not get a formal diploma, but they won't even allow that. So it's raining out here, and I'm going to go in and get an umbrella so we can finish this. I'll pause the video right now. Okay, this is a little umbrella, but it'll work. We'll make this work. Where were we? You were top of your class, but you won't graduate. Tell me the top impressions of South Carolina that you had when you came over here. Your initial impressions.
I definitely noticed the southern spirit, I would say, and I really like it because people are very friendly and they will help you as much as they can. And I really like also the environment around. It's really different from where I come from, Italy. There is a lot more space, a lot more green, a lot of fields. And that's something that I really like. Just driving around, when I drive around, I still notice how much different it is around me. And so that would be my biggest South Carolina impression. If we want to talk about like US impressions that I feel are more like about all the states, I would definitely say the size of everything. Everything is just bigger. From like houses or cars, for example, there are a lot of trucks around here. Well, in Italy, I think I've seen 1 or 2 trucks around, and I'm definitely gonna miss that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss walking a parking lot and counting how many trucks are.
Trucks are very popular, especially in forestry. Everybody's got a truck. You said serving sizes are a lot bigger.
Yes. If we want to talk about food, that could be the most different thing, and also the hardest maybe to adapt to, because it's true that sizes in restaurants, portion size, it's bigger. I can eat 3 times from one person, and the food is very different. It tastes good, but your body can feel the difference. It's maybe a little more greasy or made in different ways. Like in Italy, we use a lot of olive oil, while here is more common to use butter, for example. So all these little things that you can notice, but the food is really good. I definitely like being able to try all the fast foods and all the different restaurants, and also the southern cuisine.
So what is your favorite food here, and what's the first meal you're going to eat when you go back? Your favorite meal in Italy?
So I would divide my favorite food here. I would do 2 different categories, I would say. If we talk about southern food, I really like biscuits. The first time, I think that's the first thing I ate when I came here, when we went out to eat here, and I really like biscuits. And if we talk about more fast food, that's a little more hard. I really like tater tots, because we don't have tater tots. We only have fries. We don't even have hash browns. But I like the concept of a salty breakfast, like the American breakfast with bacon, eggs. I like that too.
And when
Or
you go
breakfast
back,
sandwich.
what will you eat? What's your favorite food in Italy?
I think that I will definitely hit the first meal that we're gonna have is probably gonna be out in a restaurant, and I will probably get pasta, like a meat sauce pasta. We have a meat sauce that's called ragu, and that's probably the first thing I'm gonna eat. But the things I'm craving the most, it's just some Italian deli meat with some Italian cheese and bread. I would say like a charcuterie board thing, Italian charcuterie board. That's probably
Now,
what I'm craving the most.
you said there was a difference in tipping culture between South Carolina or the U.S. and
Yeah,
Italy.
so in Europe, taxes are included in all the prices. So both when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a shop, the price you see on the tag is what you're gonna pay. Well, here you have to think about taxes, which is usually 10%, if I'm not wrong. And also when you go to a restaurant, you have to tip. So in Europe, we don't tip. Well, here you have to tip, so you have to give at least 18%, I think it's, of what you have.
Some people do. I don't.
So that was definitely something that I had to adjust to. Sometimes if I'm paying for like a more expensive meal, I still get a little surprise when I see the final price, because I'm like, I thought it was 30 and then it turns out to be like 38. So that's something I'm probably not gonna miss, having to think about tipping and taxes. But I understand that's a different system, different people get paid different amounts of money, so I can understand why.
So this umbrella is not working. I think we're both on the drip zone. so I think we're getting wetter. So we're saying goodbye, or I'm saying goodbye to Laura today. So I've got a trip that I'm going on, and Laura is returning in about a week, something like that. But
a little more than a week.
so anyway, we went to Grove Park Inn yesterday and Biltmore House. It was a long day, but I think we all enjoyed it, and there's a video on you can check out about that also. So Laura, we're going to miss you. You know, it's been a great experience having you here for the past year. All right, I hope you all enjoyed it. We're going to go get out of the rain right now. Take care. Okay.